Welcome back. Randy Bueller here with Brian David Marshall. It is time for the Pro Tour Hollywood Championship match. In this era of Lorwyn and tribal decks galore, we will have a tribal deck winning this Pro Tour, and it will not be fairies.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there are fairies facing off against each other. We have Sower of Temptation in the Merfolk deck.
Okay.
And we have Chameleon Colossus in the Green-Black Elves
Great.
deck.
You have the Mutavaults too while you're at it?
I would like to count the Mutavaults.
Fine. I believe the heroes of our story are Lord of Atlantis and Imperious Perfect.
Absolutely.
And, to be fair, Charles Gindy and Jan Roos, of course.
Did you have your bracket filled out this way?
I was going to say, who had Gindy versus Roos in their bracket in the championship match? Anybody? Yeah. It's been a really interesting top 8, though, and you can see it. Like, Jan Roos had his Merfolk deck set up. He could smash Revelark. He got fed Revelark, so he got that match. You know, he's been playing great Magic. I mean, the match against Shuhei, he played awesome. I mean, both of those first couple of games, he just had it set up where, you know, it looked like Shuhei had board advantage, but he was able to sort of take a bunch of damage. You know, only the 20th point of life matters. He took 19, set it up with commands, had just enough to attack back for the win.
Aaron Forsythe came up.
It's true. Game 4 was interesting. Game 4
that was a game where he was using his, where John was using his Mystic to turn Mutavault into an island.
Right.
And there was an opportunity for Shuhei to kill his own island.
So he can potentially activate Mutavault in response to the Mystic, in which case it's a 2-2. It becomes a 2-2 island. And then there's Nameless Inversion sitting in Shuhei Nakamura's hand, so potentially after the attack, he can kill his own 2-2 island, shutting off the island walk ability of the Merfolk, and then block.
Which is either going to kill some guys in combat or
tap a bunch of mana from Sig.
Force John to tap a lot of mana for Sig, and then suddenly Shriekmaw might be relevant on Shuhei's next turn.
Precisely. It's not clear it actually would have worked, but it's a play I didn't think of.
It's certainly something we didn't discuss.
And it's not clear that Shuhei thought of it either, because I think it would have been better than the play that he actually came up with. Like, he essentially just waited, crossed his fingers, and hoped Jan would tap out enough mana that Nameless Inversion and Shriekmaw could actually kill something. But there he has a way to proactively sort of force Jan to react. I think that you know, maybe the dousing comes into play, it counters it, which, okay, that's still got a bunch of mana tapped. Maybe multiple Sig activations are forced by the potential blocks. It's kind of a very elegant play. It's the kind of thing, you know, Aaron saw it. Yeah. I don't know who else sees it, but I mean, being able to sort of eliminate island walking by getting rid of your land is always fun when it comes up.
I'm wondering if John Becker saw it at home.
Somewhere, I'm positive. I know, John, you're watching and you saw it. We know. Anyway, it's just about time for this championship match, so we are going to go get ready to watch if Jan Roos or Charles Gindy will be the Pro Tour Hollywood champion. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome to Pro Tour Hollywood. I'm Randy Bueller here with Brian David Marshall. We are getting ready to watch the championship match. Sarah lurks over the field of battle looking down to find out whether Jan Roos or Charles Gindy will become the Pro Tour Hollywood champion. In a deck in a tournament that was all about tribal decks, that was supposed to be all about fairies, we're going to find out whether it'll be Merfolk or Elves that is remembered as the deck that won this tournament.
These two players squared off in this matchup in the penultimate round of the Swiss.
Did they?
Charles Gindy came up 2-0 over Jean Royce.
All right, so Gindy has the Elf deck. There you get a good look at him right now. He's on the right side of the screen, led with a Boreal Druid, and looks like here comes turn 2 Civic Wayfinder out of Charles Gindy. An American player, he's been known as a team-limited specialist, piloting 3 different teams with 3 different sets of wingmen into Grand Prix championship matches, has a Grand Prix win and 2 runners-up with those teams. On the other side of the table, we've got Jan Roos. Jan is a German player. He's been working with Jim Harold and fine-tuning this Merfolk deck. And here he sits in the finals.
Better than a Shadowmoor counterpart.
Sig River Guide was absolutely dominating against Shuhei Nakamura in the 4th game of the semifinals. He's got it now in this match.
Charles Gindy commenting that it's had a little bit more impact than the River Cutthroat from Shadowmoor. Which some people I know were coming into the event were working on a rack deck with that, so whenever they would lose 3 life to the rack, you'd get to drop.
Well, here's Lord of Atlantis.
This seems better.
Sig is 3/3 now. Can swing through a Civic Wayfinder. Now, how much removal does Gindy have in his deck?
Well, if we look through his deck, we see that he has Profane Command, Terror, and Thoughtseize as his removal suite. After sideboarding, he brings in Shriek Maws and Slaughter Packs.
Okay. So just a couple of terrors to potentially threaten that
4
Sig,
terrors.
Lord of Atlantis combo while Roos is tapped out. Instead, it'll be Garrick.
Yep.
That's the turn 4 play from Charles Gindy.
Will he make a guy here?
That's interesting. Looks like...
No, he won't. He's going to untap 2 lands. And does he have the Terror in hand? Yes, he does.
There you go. Down goes Sig. Catches Roos tapped out. Yeah, that's absolutely got to be the right play.
Sarah approves.
Now Wayfinder should swing here, right?
Sure.
Now he wants to protect his Garrick Hill tree.
Oh, sure. Protect Garrick from the Lord of Atlantis attack. You're right.
The only problem is there's a 3-mana Mutavault that's probably going to come in too. 3-power Mutavault.
Uh-huh. Still, either he brings the Lord in addition, in which case you trade, or maybe, chump like Mutavault and defend Garrick might be worth it. So Jan does indeed activate the Mutavault and attacks Garrick with a 3/3. Gindy lines up just the chump we suspected. But nothing else from Jan Roos. He's got a Lord of Atlantis. He's got a Mutavault. He's got some cards in his hand. Gindy has Garrick, Boreal Druid, and...
Profane Command, -3/-3. Turn with Civic Wayfinder.
Oh, the more reason to chump block with Civic Wayfinder. He's going to get it back with the Profane Command and take out Lord of Atlantis.
Forest.
Yeah, these green-black decks, it's really interesting how there's this range from, you can have a very aggressive elf deck build, or, Gindy's is a little bigger. Gindy's really starts to resemble a rock deck, right? You've got these incremental advantages, 2-for-1 with Profane Command, sort of, 2-for-1 card advantage with Civic Wayfinder.
And really it's a very mana-hungry deck.
Yes. And this time, Garrick makes a 3/3.
He was very happy with his 4 Civic Wayfinders, just getting into his big, powerful spells.
Sure.
That was one of the defining characteristics of the deck for him when we talked about it after he clinched his top 8 berth.
Those big spells being the Profane Commands, obviously.
Yes.
He's got Colossus.
Chameleon Colossus, and also he's got Primal Command after sideboarding, which is pretty key in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, Adam Yurchik finished 9th at this tournament with a green-black deck that, I guess technically you can call it an elf deck, but it had no real tribal interactions, right? It didn't even have Perfect. Really looked like a rock deck to me. There's really this spectrum of, how much elf action do you have Perfects, do you have Vanquishers, or you just have, Llanowar, Boreal 6 plus, maybe a Vanquisher for attacking.
Thoughtseize, Nails, Cryptic Command.
Wow.
Hub.
2 lands left in Jan's hand.
Yep, not much left of this draw. And a Treetop Village. Just shut up and let Gindy commentate for me.
Back.
Just sending in a token. Got a 3/3 Mutavault potential there.
Yep. Yeah, here's another one. Nope. Maybe this structure's all about the Planeswalker tribe.
Telling you, it's all about apes.
Apes?
And I think we've seen treetop villages do as much damage as any other creature. It's interesting looking through all these top 8 decks, with the exception of some sideboard and sunlances, there's actually absolutely no burn. You know, Romano Red was a deck that people really talked up a lot coming into this event.
Yeah, and there were some decent red-green decks, too.
Yeah.
Marin could burn, right?
He had the Screds. He had the Screds. I keep thinking he's confusing me with Scred Green.
Okay. Yep, Jan draws Sig off the top.
Very nice.
Resolves it, and
his other Sig.
Yeah. Oh, he's only got 2?
Yeah.
Sure.
Untaps the land. Thanks to the Reachery.
Alright.
Eagle gonna get in there?
Yeah, protection from green.
Protection from green. Protection from what color? Green. Okay.
And then we have a Terror.
Pretty good draw.
Can't block. Block. Really block.
That was a good top deck. Sig manages to get rid of Garrick. No mana left to activate it again. So here's a window where Gindy can kill it, but he'll have to draw a removal spell. Gindy puts his tank. Gindy puts his chin in his hands and goes into the tank. It's going to take him a second to figure out how to play the rest of this game. Yeah, this is not clear at all. Sig is 3-3. The Reachery is 2-2.
-3. -3.
Oh.
That seemed pretty clear.
Smash!
He's like, eat my Boreal Druid, please.
His Profane Command
he's still got a Pendlehaven there. He can't even eat the Boreal Druid.
Yeah. 2, 4, 7, 10. Jan Roos is now down to 4. And unlike the games against Shuhei where he made a comeback, he does not have a horde of Merfolk threatening a couple of Alpha Strikes. Does Profane Command look really good, and that's a card that, Jan Roos scoops it up. Charles Gindy has taken game 1. 2 Profane Commands managed to kill a pair of Sig River Guides, and that made all the difference. And that's a card that Shuhei Nakamura just did not have access to.
Right. And the Garrick really put pressure on Royce to use his mana and attack.
True.
Otherwise, he was just going to face down not a never-ending stream of 3/3s, but an army that was going to get quickly out of hand for him.
Absolutely. Now, what happens to this matchup after sideboarding?
Well, I don't know, because Charles King did not talk to Zvi. He said if he can't figure out how to beat Merfolk on his own...
Yeah, we're talking to Zvi in the semifinals. You know, Zvi Malchowitz had identified, okay, here's the American, that's the hero of our top 8 from Zvi's perspective. So, gave him some advice, gave him a sideboard plan, which, he needed some help. He needed a little bit of luck in that semifinal match, but he also needed a good plan, and so Zvi helped him come up with that. But, yeah, the Merfolk matchup, a little more straightforward. By now, Gindy has a plan, I'm sure, knows exactly what he wants to do with his deck against Merfolk.
He has Slaughter Packs, he has Shriek Maws. I don't think he's bringing in Squalines or Cloud Threshers here.
The only question, I guess, is what comes out.
Right. Also has Kitchen Finks. That doesn't seem like the answer.
No.
So
what does he take out? That becomes the interesting question.
How good is... What he might do is just take out a little bit here, a little bit there, sort of shave some numbers. Actually, the Civic Wayfinders are a little slow for him.
And according to our spotter on the floor, that is exactly what he's done. He's taken out 3 Civic Wayfinders and a Boreal Druid.
Okay.
Two
exactly what we expected.
4 mana is a lot of mana to take out of a deck, but I'm not sure what would be better. His deck isn't particularly big for this matchup. He's still got the Colossuses, he's still got the Profane Commands, But he doesn't need a ton of mana to use Profane Command effectively here. What about the other side? What does Jan Roos have?
Well, Jan's got those Sun Lances that he brought in the last time he faced an elf deck.
Sure.
Very good dealing with your Curious Perfects. And I mean, he has to kill a Perfect
Absolutely.
on the table.
Sunland seems like a no-brainer.
He has Serrated Arrows, which is kind of interesting.
Huh.
But I don't think he's bringing that in. Possibly brings in the 4th Cryptic Command. Certainly brings in another Sower of Temptation.
The Rebel Arcs? Yeah, brought him in against Nakamura.
Brought him in against Nakamura.
Won a game
Sure.
with one.
Yeah.
Certainly how he won one of the games.
Gets his Sig back, gets his...
He's taking out the Curse Catchers.
Oh yeah, those aren't very exciting here, I guess. Also with the Profane Commands.
Your choice. Okay.
It's interesting. So
There's an option to draw.
his deck is significantly slower now then, right? He's taking out a bunch of 1-drops. He's brought in, like, Rebel Arcs.
Surprisingly, no one's taken that option yet.
That's 3 out of 5 for the Pro Tour title. For 25 pro points and $40,000. Charles Gindy up a game. So players draw their game 2 hands.
What are you thinking about these two players as we've watched them make their way through this bracket? Anything stand out about them for you?
They're good.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing. They seem very composed. They seem very thoughtful. They seem very, very, very aware of the game.
Yes.
I think you can easily understand how they made their way through the Swiss.
Absolutely. Jan Roos is going to mulligan down to 6.
I've especially been impressed. I mean, we've watched more of Jan Roos play than Charles Gindy so far, but I've been very, very impressed with his sort of in-game decisions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Gindy, and he seems totally comfortable. I mean, it's like he's been trained for this moment for 10 years. He's played a lot of Magic. He's played a lot of, reasonable pressure situations.
Sure.
Grand Prix championship matches 3 times. A number of Pro Tour finishes, performance over the years. It's interesting, too. It seems like they both come into today determined to have fun.
Well, again, if the first time you're here, I mean, we talked about it with Nakamura, right? Where there seemed to be... This isn't fun for Nakamura. I mean, I'm sure it's fun to be in the top 5, but he really wants that win. He's thinking about that win. He can see that trophy.
Right. He can, sense the legacy. He can see the resume coming together.
Right. These guys are, quote unquote, just happy to be here.
Right. It helps. It's easier to play that way. I absolutely believe that. I mean, you'll see a lot of times where, a player will stop playtesting quite so much. You'll see, a player who's maybe been out of the game comes back. Oh, they're just happy to be here, but they still know how to play. They're still really good. And sometimes it's just
I remember
that comfort helps you play better.
Worlds in Berlin, the next stop on the Pro Tour also. Worlds in Berlin was an event where 5 or 6 of the players in the top 8 were people who had just said, you know what, I missed Magic, I qualified for nationals, whatever I did, I came back, and I was just really trying to have a good time, and they all did well. I remember really seeing that during that event. And Gindy certainly seems to embody that. Yeah, he's just smiling and having a good time. Now it's Gindy's turn to
Looks
think.
at his draw. Roos has now
Having less of a good time here. We haven't seen any of Royce's ancestral visions yet. I don't imagine.
He's only got 2.
I don't imagine if he's left them in for this matchup.
I think he has. Gindy looking at 7. I'm not quite sure what they are, but he decides to keep them. All right. Jan leads with an island and says go. Go. Neither player has a turn 1 play. Lord of Atlantis.
Take a point of damage.
Ren's Run Vanquisher for Gindy. Reveals a perfect. There's the heroes of the story, right? This match is really the Lord versus the Perfect.
And the Lord's been around for so long, right? This is an alpha.
Yeah.
This is an alpha set.
No, this is a kitchen table deck from 15 years ago.
People have always wanted this deck to be good.
It's true. Lots of people for lots of years.
Yeah, there's always been sort of these narrow windows where fish, which is what it's generally referred to, has been, and I think it's called fish because there were just never enough merfolk. You had to play a lot of other cheap creatures from other, tribes.
I mean, merfolk are fish. They got tails and fins and gills and stuff.
It was kind of a more broad description.
Right, here's the perfect. It resolves, so that is now a 4/4 Vanquisher. Merfolk has the second place on the Pro Tour, right in the hands of Nicholas Labar in Rome. Somehow managing to beat almost enough Academy decks, but fell to Hovey in the finals.
Not bitter about that?
Yeah, he knocked me out of top 8. I fizzled. Drew like 50 cards. Couldn't stitch it together. Somehow Nevinyr's Disc came in and had time to untap and blow up like 30 permanents. It's ridiculous. So no, I'm not still bitter. Have the Elves been in the finals of the Pro Tour before?
Well, we had a lot of Elf decks at Worlds, but they did not make it to the finals. We've had, I'm sure rock decks with Elves.
Sure. I'm trying to think, has there been a tribal deck? Is Goblin deck on the Pro Tour? Yeah, Dave Price won with a Goblin deck. Not a very tribal deck. I don't know if we had the sort of tribal deck win. Ooh, Sower of Temptation. Steals the perfect.
No attack.
Somehow, how did the Lord and the perfect get on the same team all of a sudden? It's not what's supposed to happen.
Those are some exciting mutavaults, though, let me tell you. It smells like Profane Terror Shriekmaw buffet here.
I think there's a Garrick in his hand, too.
Wow.
But I agree with his play. Get rid of that Sower before counter magic comes up. All the islands are tapped. Time to reclaim my perfect. And play Tarmogoyf.
There's 3 cards.
An instant and a creature in the graveyard, so it's 2/3. Vanquisher comes over.
Yep.
Yeah, no land drop for the perfect. Or is that turn 4?
Yeah. Perfect summoning sick anyway.
Oh, you're right. So what's your take on Standard now? Because Pro Tour is one match left.
Obviously, it's going to be dominated by fairies. Right, isn't that always the case? If we get to a format, it doesn't.
Another Sower.
The deck doesn't do well. There's so much removal in Gindy's deck at this point. I can't imagine a Sower living for very long. Hey, there's Ancestral Visions. On turn 5, as he said.
Yeah, that's where he kind of said he wanted it. He's like, I'm going to play out my hand, but then I would like to refill. He wants some action in the mid-game. Both these decks are capable of exploding, but both these decks also capable of refilling in the middle. Or, big spells. They've got game in the middle.
I think there's a lot of decks to choose from. You saw a lot of people playing in standard events, building the Wafakapa deck, building Alan Comer's deck seemed to be a very popular choice from the deck tech.
There's Garrick Wildspeaker.
Ouch, untap 2 lands.
Untaps 2 lands.
Hammer point 15, black.
Oh, black. So you get to Garrick and kill the Sower? Yep, evokes Shriekmaw. Down goes Sower number 2, back comes Imperious Perfect.
In comes Vanquisher.
Lord of Atlantis just hangs out watching all the action.
And an interested observer.
Crunch, right?
Yeah. He's just trying to figure out if he's sending in a Tarmogoyf.
Right, if a third Sower, he plays 4 Sowers, right, after sideboarding?
Yeah, I believe so.
A Sower could potentially steal a blocker, and now he kind of wants to defend Garrick. Only 1 card in Jan Roos's hand.
He's not sending in the Vanquisher?
Yeah, he wants to defend Garrick. That's interesting. Even if he sent the Vanquisher, he's now sort of obliged to block with Perfect. I don't think he wants to trade Perfect for Lord of Atlantis here.
I think he can get in for close to lethal next turn
With the overrun?
with the overrun. Because Garrick will go to the graveyard. That'll pump the Tarmogoyf by 4.
Funny.
You got a 7-power Vanquisher. You've got a 5-power Perfect. And that's assuming he doesn't have another Perfect or something in his hand.
Yep, you're right.
Mutavault has a little something to say. Gets in the way.
2 Mutavaults, potentially.
Yeah. Cryptic Command also has something to say.
Yeah, I think you go 1 high on Garrick. I don't think you want to kill him. Not if there's Cryptic Command mana. I mean, it all depends if there's Cryptic Command mana.
And
Okay.
Looks like Lord of Atlantis and Mutavault are going to attack.
yeah, well, he has to get that Garrick down below its ability.
Oh, and now here comes Cryptic Command on offense? Yes. Bounces the Perfect, taps the Vanquisher, kills Garrick. Alright, Cryptic Command effectively counterspelling a Garrick there.
Is he out of cards?
Yes, nothing. 0 cards in Jan Reese's hand. Charles Gindy has at least a Perfect in his hand.
So instant, creature, planeswalker, 3/4.
Six power available. Perfect would make it 7. Attack for 6.
Gonna kill Lord of Atlantis here.
Take a pain. 14. Sure.
Oh,
Untap 2 lands.
the backup Planeswalker.
Quick.
Wow.
Go.
Charles Gindy is already up 1-0. He looks like he's in pretty good shape to take a 2-0 lead. 2 Tarmogoyfs, a Vanquisher, and Garrick. All staring across the table at one lonely Lord of Atlantis.
And 2 Mutavaults.
A couple Mutavaults, an Ancestral that hasn't resolved yet.
May not ever have time to resolve.
The battle for kitchen table supremacy looks like it might go to the Elf deck. I guess there's not many kitchen tables with $60,000 on the line. Pile the money on the
Chooses
table like
not
a
to
poker
attack
match or
Garrick
something.
there. Would you have considered activating both your Mutavaults? And he said 8. He can't. He cannot.
He has to bluff Cryptic Command, right?
Yeah. Or have Cryptic
He
Command.
can have Cryptic Command. That would be good too. But I mean, whether he has it or not, I think he has to represent it.
Right. Absolutely. He has to, make Charles Gindy think twice before putting Garrick in the graveyard. Which he does. He's fine.
Yep. I'm just gonna brawl with these guys. All right. I don't need to win the game this turn.
I can make a 3/3.
I can play around. I can put you on the perfect cards, and I think I still win. So. Ooh, Slaughter Pact. Kills the Lord of Atlantis. Now that is lethal, right? 3, 6, 9. You got anything, Jan? He's got the Mutavaults.
Yeah. Would you like to chump?
And they chump. He can double block Tarmogoyf? Here it is. 3, 6.
Yes. Yeah, they're 3/4.
Yeah. So he can double block a Tarmogoyf and kill it, or he can go chump.
That's
Yeah, seems like double block, kill Tarmogoyf. Goes down to 2.
So you take 6. 2.
Now what? Gindy's not out of gas yet?
Chameleon Colossus.
He's got more?
Take another point. 13.
He's done all the damage to himself.
Command? Colossus.
And I'll make a beast. Go.
Good luck, Charles Gindy says.
Yeah.
Scoop. Charles Gindy now leads 2 games to 0.
I have 2 fans.
Here's the roar of the crowd.
He appreciates your cheers.
Gindy with a gigantic smile on his face.
I definitely didn't know.
That's got to feel pretty good. And he's certainly not the biggest name on tour, but American crowd would love to see this Pro Tour title stay here in the States. Yeah, if this was in Berlin, it would be the other way around, right?
I don't know. The Americans are pretty loud.
I think there'd be, about 1,000 Germans lined up.
Do you remember the last time we were in Berlin?
I do. Worlds in Berlin was absolutely packed. That was an awesome event.
That was the 450-person PTQ?
Yeah. Those good times. That Pro Tour should be fun. There'll be tons of side events, public events for people to show up and play in.
Brand new extended format?
Post-rotation extended. That'll be fun.
Coming into this top 8, Shuhei looked at him and Mahara and he said to me, Japan is back.
They haven't won one in a while, right?
I think Mahara might be the last winner.
Worlds, like 18 months ago?
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah, sounds right.
Meanwhile, this is
the French.
We're in danger of back-to-back U.S. winners.
Finkel and Gindi. You get the Sliver kids that won one last year, too.
Yeah.
3 American. Wow, they won 4 of the last 6 if Gindi wins here. They won 3 of the last 5 right now.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 have gone to France, right? Guillaume and Remy.
Yeah. And one to
and then Peleg's in there, sorry. Still, Americans have won 3 of the last 6, looking to go for 4 out of 7. Yeah, Charles Gindi leads 2-0. Has been dreaming about this for half of his life. Playing Magic since he was 12.
I know when you play Magic, when you read about this, when you watch the coverage, I mean, you can't help but imagine yourself at that table.
Absolutely true.
You don't have to imagine yourself at that table, but the rest of us do.
Now, I remember listening to the webcast back in 1996, imagining someday.
The internet radio webcast.
Yeah, it was all radio at the time. I think it was audio recordings that were then posted after the fact, or something like that. Thank you. Both players keep their draws. Jan Roos has got his back against the wall. He and his Merfolk have to win 3 games in a row. Gindi leads with a turn 1 Llanowar Elf. And these guys did meet in round 15. Gindi won that match.
Grace has not taken a game off of him yet.
Yeah, he's 0-4. Is that Banneret?
That is Stony Brook Banneret. There's a Mutavault. We have a perfect. No,
Elf is going to serve. Sure, he'll trade Elf for Banneret here. I agree with this.
Elf for Elf?
Well, the Banneret could be double Elf next turn, right? He could easily make 2 mana next turn. But must not have the hand to take maximal advantage of the Banneret, so Jan takes him up on the exchange.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting play. Somebody who had to be wrong there, right? One of them was wrong.
It looked to me like Gindi's holding a Colossus. I would think he would want to make a turn 3 Colossus.
The bluff attack?
Maybe he's like, no one ever blocks.
Right. Blocking is better than most people think.
The Banneret regenerates. You're going to play a 3rd land?
Mutavault? Does he have Colossus in his hand?
I thought he did.
He's got Colossus in his hand. He does, according to our spotter on the floor. That Elf attack was wrong. I mean, credit Jan Roos. Most people don't block there. I think Gindi was just trying to chip away the 1 free point. But Gindi was like, call.
Now, there's the...
Oh, and there is Sig.
Okay.
Yeah, let's Shriek Maw. 2 Colossuses and a Terror all sitting in Gindi's hand. And now suddenly there's Sig with white and 1 available.
Thought Jan was going to pass the turn. Yep, he is.
Yeah, if he had the Elf, he could have gone Terror, untap. Well, he would have played Colossus if he still had the Elf.
Colossus. 10th Colossus.
And does this get doused?
Attempt Colossus, recognizing that there is doused mana thanks to the Banneret, but it resolves.
Okay.
Sunlance sitting in Jan Roos's hand.
that thing now and get in there.
Below 2 cards? Maybe.
You're going to be tying up 2 mana to keep it at bay or take
He has to
a
tap all his white to do that, though. He has an Addercrow Waste in his hand. He played an island. That surprises me. Now he cannot go.
He can still only activate it twice. He can't.
No, but he can go Sunlands, leave it up.
He's obviously not going to do that.
Yeah, he must not be on Sunlands, because otherwise you should play Addercrow Waste there and have Sig mana available.
He's looking at a long-term cryptic command,
Sure. He's just going to sit on Sig and
command
out and play
block you
defense
for a couple turns.
Any reason not to attack with Colossus here?
No.
Double block forces you to pump. I don't know. I mean, Jan can if he double blocks, he has to go protect, and then he loses to a burn spell, so it's probably just going to single block. So this attack from Gindi will tie up 2 mana, but that's all it does. That's all it can hope to do. Right, he does give Jan the ability to force a pump.
I mean, he can activate Mutavault.
I'm sorry?
He can activate Mutavault.
Sure.
But he's got mana to pump it, so...
Right.
Yeah, no, he can't. He has to just...
Well, but I mean, Roos has the option to say double block, protect, force you to spend 4 mana.
Right.
Which Gindi is not what Gindi wants to do. Gindi wants to spend his mana on another Colossus.
Right. And that's what's going to happen here. Or spend his mana on a Shriek while killing Sig.
Exactly, which he can't do if he pumps. So interestingly, now Gindi has the option to decline a pump in order to have Shriek Maw mana?
No, sir. That's not the hands of someone who's going to decline to pump there.
But then if Gindi declines to pump, then Jan is going to know what's up, and he's going to protect Sig, right? Let the Mutavault die and still have Sig mana to defend against Shriek Maw.
Assigning combat damage. 2 and 2.
Oh, now they get to stare at each other. Gindi is yielding. He is willing to resolve damage here. That seems correct. He should be willing at least once. But yeah, you got to tap Mutavault. Absolutely correct. Right, now Sig defends. Now is Gindi going to yield again?
Okay.
Does Gindi yield again, or does he spend his mana? Oh, Gindi yielded again. If I'm Jan Roos, I let Mutavault die. You trade Mutavault for Colossus.
It sounds like what he's going to do.
Wow. Not sure that was quite what Gindi had in mind. He gave Jan the ability to make a mistake.
Target 2. Respond to the ability.
Oh, and he has this...
Oh!
Come on, guys. It wasn't that good. Go.
Did he put a little reminder on top of his deck?
Very well set up by Charles Gindi. Very well set up. Saw the whole thing coming. I didn't realize he had Slaughter Pact in his hand.
Yep.
That clearly changes everything.
He's got his mana set aside to pay for the pact already. He's like, I'm on camera. There's how many people watching me. I am not going to forget to pay for a pact. Sunlight's the Shriek Maw. And, we got a card off the top.
Lord of the Latest off the top.
One card now?
Banner Red hits for 3.
Choose to pay for Slaughter Pact.
There you go. Choose to pay.
He put the reminder on top of his deck.
Yep.
It's much less embarrassing than forgetting to pay.
Totally agree.
I know Bill Stark appreciates seeing the little token on top of the deck.
Yep.
And here comes Imperious Perfect.
And here comes the Sunlands.
True. Yeah, Gindi managed to deal with Sig, but he still got some work to do in this game. One Sunlance took down a Shriek Maw. The other Sunlance gotta take down Perfect here. Gindi's got, I believe, a Terror left in his hand.
Okay. No blocks. 14.
Gindi declines to block. which seems like the correct play. Stares across the table.
Sunlance?
Yep, there's another
Gindy saw it
Sunlance.
coming.
So Gindy has a Terror and another Colossus in his hand, so he's actually in pretty good shape here. One, two, three. Oh, another Imperious Perfect
Another
came off the top.
You don't send in a 3/3 Mutavault here?
He wants to leave up Terror mana,
Yep.
which Jan, I'm sure, sees. Like, Gindy did just clearly decline 3 points of Island Walking damage.
Oh, 4 points.
4 points of Island Walking damage, right. That's a chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Smells like Sower of Temptation.
5 is Revelark.
No, 4. Oh, no, 5 is...
Full price Silvergill Adept, except it's 4 with 1 savings from the Banneret.
Two Sunlance, okay.
Alright, Charles Gindy leads this Pro Tour Championship match 2-0. The lone American in this top 8 is just 1 game away from winning the whole thing. He's got an Imperious Perfect. He's now played a Ren's Run Banisher, revealing the Colossus that's sitting in his hand. He declined to use his Terror at the end of Jan Roos's turn, clearly playing around Douse. Here comes Colossus.
Go ahead.
That's, is that an empty hand, or does he... Oh, he still has one
Still got
card.
one card, which we know to be a Terror.
Still got an answer for a Sower. So now we have attack for 6 Island Walking on the Colossus, attack for another 8 Island Walking with the Mutavaults.
Terror Lord.
Oh, really? There's a ton of Island Walking damage he just gave away.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, the crowd was a little disappointed to not see the 6/6 Colossus getting in there.
610, it was 14, right?
Yes, it was 14.
And you can almost pump Colossus. But this should work, too. Those are still some giant men. Right, it's a 3/3 Mutavault.
A 4/4
A
Vanquisher.
4/4 Vanquisher. 4/4 Colossus.
5/5 Colossus.
2 and 1.
Yeah, Mutavault trades with both remaining Merfolk. 9 damage.
Yeah.
Charles Gindy up 2-0.
10? Did you take 1 damage? Oh yeah, from that aircraft.
Jan Roos is at 10. Roos draws a card. No, there's the hand. Charles Gindy sweeps. Elves win the Pro Tour. Charles Gindy wins the Pro Tour. The title stays in the United States, and Pro Tour Hollywood has been everything that Charles Gindy dreamed it could possibly be.
Yeah, when you get there, I mean...
Look
this
at
is
that
the way
smile. Look at that smile. That is one happy Magic player.
Congratulations, Charles Gindy, Pro Tour Hollywood champion. Wow.
Absolutely. Been playing Magic since he was 12 years old. Been dreaming. Probably played Elves on the kitchen table just like all of us did when he was growing up. Probably played Merfolk and against Merfolk. Everybody starts. Welcome to Lorwyn. Welcome to a tribal era in Magic. And suddenly, the decks that used to just be good enough for the kitchen table are now good enough to win Pro Tours. Wow.
Couple of Alpha Edition stalwarts.
Lord Atlantis not good enough to get the job done.
Llanowar Elf.
Llanowar
Totally
Elf.
up to the task.
Yes, Llanowar Elf, Terror, got the job done. Little help from some Colossuses, some Mutavaults. Wow, it's great Magic.
That was, and Charles Gindy just played great Magic, pushed his advantage at every turn, slowed down when he needed to.
Had a really complicated interaction. Sig River Guide looked like there was enough mana on Jan Roos's side of the board to potentially really complicate life with that Sig, but Gindy set it up great. He attacked with a Colossus, yielded priority. Are you going to use your Sig? Are you not going to use your Sig? I mean, Roos played it as well as he possibly could, leaving back a Sig activation, but Gindy swooped in with the Slaughter Pack. He'd set it up, he saved it, down goes Sig. The rest of it was just a matter of attacking.
And the Shriekmaw also drew a Sunlance out of his hand, which ended up being crucial later on with the another Imperious Perfect hitting the board.
True. Yeah, no, I mean, good draws from both players, but Gindy played it great.
Yeah.
Absolutely played it great. A worthy Pro Tour champion. What are you going to remember this Pro Tour for?
I am going to remember the reaction people had as they watched Yo Wafatapa's deck tear through day one and then lose a wheel on day two.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could really sense that, Guillaume has become the guy that everybody's asking about. Yeah. Day one of the Pro Tour, it used to be Kenji, and it's not Kenji right now, it's Guillaume. That's who people want to know. What did he build? What is he playing? What is he doing? Yeah, of course he's 8-0. Of course he's 9-0. Guillaume Wafatapo, I think, really was the guy that the room was revolving around on day one. That's a good point.
And I think Charles Gindy
yeah, that smile was perfect.
Just his smile,
huge beaming smile as he gets the chance to live his dreams.
And he had that same smile yesterday. I mean, he was
True.
Again, just happy to be there. He's like, I've made my top 8. I'm gonna go play Magic on the Pro Tour in the top 8. This is what I've always wanted. And then we really had this feeling that his happiness, his kind of relaxed demeanor, really played a large role in his success. Well, we saw Shuhei Nakamura, who's one of the greatest players in the game, 5th Pro Tour top 8. Mm-hmm. And you could really feel the pressure. I don't know if this played it had any.
No, it's not like we saw a mistake, but I mean, he was clearly more like, I want to win.
Clearly bearing down on him.
It's like he's just disappointed in the loss. Gindy's not disappointed in the loss.
He was playing a little angry, or a little like,
Fair. It's fair. Hard to know if that makes a difference or not.
Yeah.
I think that Fairies is the big story. The big takeaway for me for Standard right now is that a lot of people look to the Pro Tour like, what are the best decks? And coming into this, nobody could figure out how to beat Fairies.
Right.
Coming out of this, you've got the best players in the world, spent a couple of months trying to figure out, there's the deck with the target on its forehead, how do I beat that deck? And any number of ways. There are several different anti-fairy strategies built in here, and when the best players in the world playing their choice of the best deck was Elves versus Merfolk in the finals. It was Revelark in the semis, along with another Elf deck. Fairies is good, no question about it, but there's a lot of other decks that are at least as good out there.
Right, Revelark's a deck that is definitely, I think, going to be a big takeaway for a lot of people at home. It was played very, very narrowly in the tournament. There were only 18 players on day one. Mm-hmm. There were less than 10 players on day two, but it put 2 people into this top 8.
It's true. Yeah, Revelark was good in this field. I think the key was building Revelark so that it can beat Fairies. Okay, and that was good enough.
Yeah.
And then the key, the Elves, the Merfolk, Guillaume Wafatapa's deck, right? Quick and Toast, really, Manuel Boucher's deck.
Yeah.
Guillaume's just the pilot in that case. Tons of stuff going on, tons of decks to choose from. Should be a fun couple of months for Magic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The format looks like it's in great shape.
Until Berlin, when we worry about extending.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see what happens there, post-rotation. That'll be fun. So, Brian and I are just about done. We're going to send you guys down to an award ceremony, and we'll see you next time in Berlin. So, for Brian David Marshall, this is Randy Bueller. Here comes your award ceremony.
Hello and welcome to the award ceremony for Pro Tour Hollywood 2008. It's a great pleasure to welcome our head judge, Mr. Sheldon Menery. First, we have 2 prizes that have already been awarded. In 4th place, winning $13,000 from Singapore, Yong Han Chu. And in 3rd, winning $15,000 from Japan, Shuhei Nakamura. And now, please join me in welcoming our finalist, winning $20,000 from Germany, Jan Roos. And now, your 2008 Pro Tour Hollywood champion, winning $40,000 from the United States of America, Mr. Charles Gimby. An outstanding performance, winning the final in 3 straight games. Once again, your Pro Tour Hollywood champion 2008, Charles Gimby. We'd like to thank all the staff, the judges, the players, and you, the viewers, for giving us such a great Pro Tour. Join us again in Berlin on October the 31st. But until we meet again, I'm your host, Richard Hagan, saying bye.
Okay, you got it. Did you get it?